What's happening? The Sprags, right? Following up on the short I made, however, I decided to re-record the video because I actually recorded a video already talking about this, but I wanted to re-record it, expand upon it, and put more points on it. You already see what I'm talking about in the title. By the way, my face is glowing, goddamn. But already see, what the title's about and everything. The experience of living out the car for the last 30 days, right? As a recap, I've done recent videos on it as I've restarted my channel and everything. And my great reset in life, post-graduation and whatnot, part of it was getting away from the people I had to get away from. Get away from family who just won't do better. And at the point, I reached a point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, we can't always wait for people to change because people, sometimes they won't change. And if you're just going to wait for them to change while doing the things that you need to do, what's going to happen is they're just going to drag you down with them. But because of that and hardships and everything else, I decided, you know what? No more. I'm done. And that was really it. See, there's more into it. Like, things happen, evictions and everything else that came into play. But essentially, that was the final straw. Like, just wanting to get away from it all and just do me, right? Stack my money, everything else. No more, like, being dragged down by the crabs in the buckets, basically. There's really no other way to describe it. And with that, living in this car for the last 30 days, despite being homeless for the last almost 6 years. Put myself through college and everything else, living in motels and all this other stuff, right? Living in the car and having money while doing it, because that's an important caveat, as there are people who are in this circumstance who don't have money to do so. I'm not saying I'm rich or even wealthy. I just have enough to survive and then some. Get what I'm saying? But living out the car and having money to survive while doing it, it has been an experience that I did not see coming, right? And what I mean by that is, the way I positioned it in my mind was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna do what I have to do here, move this stuff out, whatnot, for the family, pay this last bill for them and whatnot, and basically I'm just done. Live out the car, stack my money, by time spring, summer comes, put myself into a spot, right? That was my thought process, because it's winter and everything. I can live out the car. I like the winter. I don't like the heat. I don't like summer. And as you know, this summer is probably going to be hotter than last summer. Climate change just is what it is. But in doing this, and there wasn't really an adjustment period for me because I come from the struggles. I'm used to sleeping anywhere, whatever. But in doing this, I came upon the realization, like a couple weeks into it, holy fuck, I am free. Like, that was the epiphany I had. Like, I am truly free. Not being confined into like a place for rent or a mortgage and everything. I have bills, but like, rent and mortgage puts you at a location if you're not well off. You're stuck there. And not being stuck there and literally having the ability, despite working, to go anywhere I want, whenever I want, how I want, because I can pay my bills, but I don't have to participate in this socioeconomic hellscape of a rat race, right? Since the pandemic, like how everything has gotten even worse in the housing market and everything. It led to me to realize exactly why people do this. And not just living out of a car, living out of an RV or anything, but just going off the grid completely. So there's a story of a man, I think he's Japanese, right? There's a video of it, it's on YouTube and everything. And he lives on an island alone by himself. If he's still alive, I hope he is. And he did it willingly. He just chose that he was done participating in society and everything. And in doing that, like, he just lives off the land and has a friend who visits him sometimes via boat, gives him some amenities and everything, from society to survive. But other than that, does that. I've also seen other videos where people choose to be homeless, but not like in the panhandling sense or whatnot, somebody who really fell on hard times, but some people that like, they'll make themselves like a little makeshift cabin in a woods, something like behind me, right? Go out into society when they can. It was basically almost like living off the grid, even though it's actually kind of hard to live off the grid in America because taxes and zoning laws and everything else. So it's kind of hard to do that. But even with all that, I understand why people do this, right? The absolute freedom of this all, of just being away from everything. Having control, which is the biggest tenet of it, is the control. It even had me starting to question, like, do I really want to go back to a full society participant? Like, when I am done doing this, do I really want to be done doing this? Like, do I want to do my career and things? Do I want to, get a house, an apartment? Even though right now, apartments are ridiculous. And I'm going to lead into that. But do I want to get a house, an apartment? Do I want to really deal with property taxes and everything? Or even this market of greed and corporate oligarchy, right? That are just continually treat housing and land like it has unlimited exponential growth and are pricing out the common person. Do I want to be a part of that when I could just be free? All that has gone through my mind since doing this. And so when I've seen those videos and people who choose to do that and they replay in my mind, I have so much more understanding of these people who make these decisions, because now I get why. And it's one of those things where even if you could get like a basic understanding of it from watching a video or sometime from a struggle, you won't really truly, like a lot of experiences, really understand until you experience it. And it's been one hell of an experience. Like it was actually probably a good thing that I did this, like going off to college and everything else. Like by the time I reach, if I am lucky enough to make it to old age, one thing I always said to myself is, I want to have a life rich full of experiences. Dog. Right now? All right, hold on. He's lucky I don't have the powers of static shock right now. Trust me, I just would have went. I found this spot specifically because it was quiet. Now the wind is picking up. This is some bullshit. I laugh at my own jokes. So like, as I was saying, having done all this and everything and experience it, it's like, is there even a want to go back to it, right? Now, for me, yes, because I have my career and everything else and what I do, working in media and photography and whatnot, I need a spot and stuff for the stuff I want to do. So this is all just a temporary thing. But I understand why people do it. And then brings the other aspect of life, because anything I talk about, we always got to really get deep into the weeds and everything. And it's the future crisis for people that can't really afford their homes, right? Because part of the reason why I was doing this is, like I said, the life that I came from and everything. But even for me, who's making a little bit of money, a nice thing, living in Jersey and everything. Since the pandemic, the price of housing has increased exponentially to the point that it's absolutely ridiculous. You have areas, right, that are 25,000 in median household income. So 25 to 30,000, where these landlords, whether they're regular person, wealthy individuals, or, corporate owned, because there's been an increase, especially in Jersey, there's been an increase of LLCs. Actually, not even especially in Jersey, countrywide, there has been an increase of LLCs. And these LLCs are now these property owners. If you go on Zillow or anything, go check it out. Seriously, go look at it. You usually see something LLC, and a lot of them are fairly new, like less than 5 years old. And they're the ones that bought up a lot of these homes and everything. So you'll have people that are in median household income, like the areas where I'm from, where people are mainly poor, of 25,000 to 30,000, right? Meanwhile, the rent for a 1-bedroom in a lot of these spots are now $1,600. So 14 to 1,600. If it's a 2-bedroom, you're already easily at 1,000. 2,000. I meant to say 2,000. Small correction. Back to the video. If you're 3, good luck. Let's add the 3 times income that they want, right? That requirement, that hard requirement. If you're at about what, 16,000, I believe, you're at the mid 5,000s of monthly income. So you're looking at 5,000 to 6,000 in income, or even 4,500 to 6,000 in income. We'll say that for people who are making 25 to 30 a year, 25 to 30,000 a year. What's happening in these cities like that I'm from, but also in rural America, is people are getting priced out of their homes. I'm doing this on purpose, but also because things are really expensive. There are other people who will be doing this and are currently doing this, but there's going to be more of them doing it because they are forced to. As much as this has been a learning experience, the same as like being the last almost 6 years I was homeless while going through school and like meeting different types of people and everything, and also just coming from the hood and everything, right? As much as all this has been experience of learning things and seeing how the invisible people live, we have a fucking problem on our hands. Big time. And like America always does, it ignores it because it's all about wealth. Well, the problem is, keep telling people to eat cake, and then, well, eventually, only you are going to have cake too. These problems grow. They move on out. Middle class knows that middle class barely exists, right? It's been a great learning experience, but the problems that we have with housing and everything, we got to fix this shit. We have to fix this shit bad. And that's all. I will catch y'all in the next video. Damn, I'm looking good.